Hello everyone, I'm Chris Ercoli here for HS Game Time, joined by IE Hoops guru Jeff Parenti. As always, of course, we are here at the Elsinore High School gym. This is Elsinore, the team that actually went farthest of any boys team last year in the state playoffs, made it all the way to the quarterfinals of the state playoffs against Inglewood, had a big showdown. But Jeff, we know that they've lost a lot of their firepower. They're looking to replace this year. We're going to talk about that. First, though, we're going to talk about our top 10. Actually, for Jeff Parenti, it's a top 12. He's got so many teams, he can't be stopped at 10. Jeff, not a lot of mix-up at the top, beginning with Centennial, although Centennial did suffer their first loss of the year. They played a big game against Etiwanda, a team that they had played earlier. What happened last week? Talk about the shakeup with Centennial.
Well, Centennial played Etiwanda. It's the second time in 2 weeks, this time in the IE Classic, and they lost after beating. Both games have been close, so Centennial's first loss of the year, but I kept them at number one until somebody from our area knocks them off. They're the number one team.
Then in the number 2 spot, the Aloha team, I guess you'd call them, fresh off a trip to the islands of Hawaii, is Corona. The Corona Panthers, they remain undefeated. They had a pretty good trip out there.
Oh, absolutely. They just rolled the teams at the 27th St. Anthony Classic in Maui, winning the championship 60-33. They actually had a 31-10 run in the second half. Ethan Alvano was the MVP of that tournament for Corona, and Corona is undefeated at 9-0.
And then another team that was actually putting on some air miles as well, North went up to Canada with their high fly act, and they impressed as well.
Oh, absolutely. They made it to the finals of the REB tournament in Edmonton, Alberta, losing in the championship game to Mount Vernon of New York, and that score was 100-86, so it was a real back and forth. And Deshaun Taylor, the junior, really put on a show. He had 30 in the quarterfinal, 36 in the semifinal, and 38 in the championship.
And also in our number 6 spot is Elsinore. They have a 5-4 record right now, which is pretty impressive. That's why we're here today, because they lost what their coaches are saying 95% of their offense, led by the HS Game Time Player of the Year last year, E.J. Twyman.
E.J. Twyman, yeah, they lost E.J. Twyman. Four seniors, 95% of their scoring, as you said, and they're really rebuilding. The only regular player that they have back is senior Alan Stubbs, and so they're in a rebuilding mode. But they went down to the North County Classic in Fallbrook, a tournament they won last year, and they got to the championship, which shows a lot of progress for this young team.
Actually, we spoke a little bit ago with co-head coach Pete Redinger. He talked about life after E.J. Twyman here with the Elsinore Tigers and how they've had to rebuild the team.
We lost a lot with that, a lot of leadership, but our kids have really emerged this year through summer and fall, and the early part of the season they've done very, very well trying to recapture that strength. So we're very pleased at this point in time where we are.
Now, Jeff, one of the reasons why you have Elsinore ranked as the number 6 team in your top 12 this week is because of the strong performance they had in the North County Classic.
Yeah, absolutely. They had won the tournament the year before, and they beat Chaparral in the semifinal by, I think, three points, and went to the championship and played highly regarded Army-Navy from San Diego. Army-Navy has a 7'1" player going to Oregon State. His name is Shea Njai. He's from Senegal.
Not often at the high school level that you get to play against a 7-footer. We talked to senior guard Devin Riley about his experience going up against the big tower.
It was fun. I loved it. I mean, it was so fun going down the court, and I couldn't even see his head for most of the game. I was just, down here, but I mean, it was fun. My teammates enjoyed it. He's very athletic, and he's very skilled in what he can do, even off on the court. I mean, even off the court, he's a wonderful person. I talked to him after the game. He's a good guy.
And finally, last but not least, we're going to highlight our games of the week. Jeff, definitely league play is not started yet, but we definitely have a couple dandies this week, as Dickie Vitale would say. What are the ones that you have on your must-watch list?
Well, actually, Chris, the Inland Valley League did start this week, actually last week. So going into the Christmas holiday, teams will have played 3 games in that league. But non-league games that we're looking at this week, Thursday, Beaumont is 8-2, having a great start to their season. They play at Cajon. Friday, we've got 2 really good matchups. Temecula Great Oak is traveling to undefeated Corona. That's a 6 o'clock game, and between Southwestern and Big 8 League teams. And then we have a Sunbelt versus Southwestern matchup with Elsinore playing at Murrieta Valley at 6:30. And then on Saturday, there's a showcase tournament at Long Beach City College. It's called the Public versus Private Showcase. And Corona Santiago is playing the Army-Navy team we talked about at 12:30. And then that night, Riverside North and sharpshooting Deshaun Taylor, they play St. Augustine from San Diego, a very highly ranked team in San Diego, and that's a 6:30 game.
Definitely a couple big showdowns right there. Teams looking to get hot as they, most of the teams step into league play, as you said, coming up here this next week. All right, Jeff, that does it here from Elsinore High. Thanks for joining us once again, as usual. And that does it for this week's Hoops Chat with Jeff Parenti. I'm Chris Ercoli, and we'll see you next week.